This video is dropping on Mr. Super Oz's birthday. Happy birthday, me. But the reason we're doing a special video on September 27th is because, well, I wanted to. I mean, I guess that's the simplest way of putting it. But more than that, the simple answer is the show we're talking about, Daybreak. So I bought this show twice. I bought it once for Brandon and once for Josiah. Josiah's currently got a bad wheel, so he couldn't make the conversation. But the reason I didn't buy the show for myself is because my mom got it for me as a gift. Which is, it's so, I love and miss my mom all the time. And one of the things that I always thought was so awesome was she understood what I liked, and so she could pick out a thing and be you like that even when I didn't know it existed, because this show came out when I was deployed to Iraq in 2006, and so of course I'm not really up on the hip new goings on the ABC when there are different initials going at you like RPG and whatnot. So yeah, the RPG network didn't really look out for me. But anyway, I just trying to be amusing. But yeah, so the show itself ran 13 episodes, but only 10 of them aired. The final 3 never got released to ABC. They only ever made the DVD cut. Mm-hmm. And I've got to say, with it's a call into the show, but it's a decision and consequences, right? So the show loves saying that. I'm glad that when the network made the decision to cancel the show, the consequence was that the creators had the wherewithal, the forethought, the care to go ahead and finish the story. Mm-hmm. That's something I very much can relate to, is the desire to finish the story. And so with that, I'm so happy that they brought things to a mostly clean resolution. Mm-hmm. So the pilot episode, it stars Tay Diggs, who
it's called Pilot, by the way.
Oh, of course, yeah. Most pilots are. Yeah. But yeah, so the pilot episode, it stars Tay Diggs, who's great. I mean, I can't think of anything where I've seen that guy and I'm like, I don't like this guy. Yeah. But somebody else who I really think is, well, I think she's very attractive, but also I always like seeing her. Moon Bloodgood is to me like the queen of cancellations.
Oh yeah.
So she is one of the stars of this show. Got canceled. She was in Journeyman, which I think is great, and I'm so mad. There's actually going to be a series on the channel called, thanks to Brandon, it's going to be called "Please Take My Money," and it's just my plea to networks or distributors or producers or whoever it is that can gladly take my money when I tell them, just sell this to me. I look for it. I don't want to pirate, because I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me, because that's the thing. Is like the reason I don't have digital copies of Everlasting Survivors Volume 1 all day long as a purchasable option is because I just don't like the idea. Granted, it is what it is, but like I don't like the idea of people pirating the thing I created, and that's why I certainly don't want to do it to others. Mm-hmm. But with that, there will be a series at some point on the show, possibly starting as soon as October. Actually, let's guarantee, starting in October, the series Please Take My Money, or Shut Up and Take My Money, one or the other. I think that's what Fry says, is Shut Up and Take My Money. Yeah. So, but the series will begin because there are a plethora of shows, one of which starring Moon Bloodgood, called Journeyman, where networks created a thing that I enjoyed immensely, and they refused to allow me to purchase it from them. They're ridiculous like that.
Yeah, they got the trailers up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, baby, we can get you into it, but you can't watch it. But yeah, so I've always looked at this show as The Fugitive and Groundhog Day. It's like that's the Venn diagram of the show.
Because for me, I look at it as 24 with Groundhog's Day.
Oh, Groundhog Day 24,
the camera like how the camera
Oh,
set up
for
and
sure.
stuff like that. I was like, this reminds me of 24.
So I haven't watched 24.
Oh, okay.
But the reason I think of it as The Fugitive, starring Harrison Ford, is because he's out to prove his innocence.
Yeah.
And that's what Taye Diggs is out to do in the show, is to prove that he's not guilty of a murder that he's accused of. Oh, I literally said here, I've never watched 24, but this show feels like the anti-24, where 24, every episode is 1 hour of the day, and this show, every episode is the same day.
Same day, yeah.
And so that's funny that I wrote that and forgot that I wrote it, but it ties into what you said. But yeah, so Taye Diggs' character, his name is Hopper. He's accused of, or not even accused, he's framed for the murder of a district attorney named Garza. And without breaking down every piece of the first episode, because
don't forget,
that's not what we're here for.
His in the first episode, his girlfriend or fiance is murdered too.
Oh, Moon Bloodgood's killed in the first episode. Yeah. Well, so actually, she's murdered more than one time. Multiple episodes. Because see, that's the beauty of the show, is he has to figure out what piece of the puzzle goes in the right hole so that it sticks. And I think that's, to me, the real big hook of it. If every episode was just the same day over and over, it's like banging your head against the wall. You're never going to move forward. But because he's able to figure out how to move pieces into the right place, like Moon Bloodgood's character Rita used to be married to Chad Shelton, played by Adam Baldwin.
Yeah. I thought I was gonna say Alec Baldwin,
but it's Adam.
Adam, yeah.
Starred in such great hits as Chuck, which we had previously talked about, and Firefly, which we will later talk about. But my point behind bringing up Adam Baldwin is he is one of those key pieces that need to be put into place, because once Taye Diggs realizes that he can trust Chad to protect Rita, he's able to go about the mission without having to worry about her dying every time the day repeats itself.
Right, yeah.
And so, yeah, it's good that he's able to have things stick.
Yeah, and I like that side characters too, like his partner, because Hopper's a cop.
Yeah.
His partner.
Her name is Battle.
Battle, yeah. Boyfriend is caught up in drugs,
yes.
And then she has to.
And the best part is he is so Battle's boyfriend is Hopper's ex-partner, who Hopper got kicked off the force because of his drug problem. You know, not in a I'm against you kind of way, but I'm for this, and we can't both be for that and doing the drugs at the same time type of way. And so it's Brett Hopper is just a very stand-up guy. He's a good cop. And the reason he's such a good cop is because he's inspired by his father, who he sees as being another good cop who made right decisions. And the thing about the show is that it's spec-freaking-tacular when it comes to its twists. So Hopper has to go to his dad's old partner because he thinks he can trust him. And then it's revealed to the audience, not to Hopper immediately, that so many of the cops are dirty. Like, I love when we find out that Chad isn't, but then later we find out maybe question marks.
Yeah.
But there are just so many shades of gray is what I think is so good about, or the way that I would best describe it. Outside of Hopper, who really is the white knight of the bunch, there are so many shades of gray within most every character, because even Rita has a darkness to her in the fact that she helped her brother dispose of their father, which also leads to Chad being wrapped up in that too from back when they were married. But yeah, no, so many good things. Like so there's Damien. He's like a henchman for Latin gang who's trying to take down the higher ups in the bad guy group, but then you find out that actually, what was he, like a senator or congressman? I don't know, some politician has ties to the gang stuff, and it's like, just...
Yeah.
My point is, the show is very freaking intelligent.
Mm-hmm. And it moves very...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't waste any,
exactly.
Waste any time.
And so, with that, the pacing. And so, I don't know how many seasons I would have liked it, the repeating day thing. I long have thought that if the second season followed Chad Shelton instead of Brett Hopper, so that the characters are still there, but we're now from a different person's perspective, I think that would have helped lend to the show.
Oh, okay.
Changing the pace
by
by having different focus each season.
Right. That I was gonna think it would be like an anthology, kind of like a True Detective, like maybe not with this core character, but someone else entirely, and they have to solve like maybe a mystery, but this time they're not a cop. Maybe they're a college student or something.
For sure.
Yeah, like to keep people more.
Well, and the reason I was thinking that season 2, which never existed, by the way, but the reason I was thinking season 2 following Chad would be good because it could be like a redemption story for him.
Oh, okay.
Where in season 1, he is kind of playing both sides. Like, he's good because he won't allow them to kill Hopper when they have the chance in the police station. He actually saves his life. But he's also got darkness to him where he's not unwilling to cross lines, basically. And so with that, that's why I thought that if he was the person they followed in season 2, it would be cool. And then, honestly, I long thought that if season 3 was Battles season, that it could again, that way you don't have to be refamiliarized with the concept because we're following the same people we met, but now from a new perspective. There's actually a movie called, I think it's called Vantage Point, where they did that. They would go, here's how this person saw it, here's how this person saw it, here's how this person, and then at the end it's like, oh, here's what
actually
what the important part is that kind of everybody missed, basically.
But something that I do like about this is the rules that they set up. And I love that Hopper figures out, it's like, wait, can someone else do this? Or it's a repeating. And then he meets Jared.
Jared, yeah.
Yeah, Jared.
And then at the conclusion of the show, when Jared's all happy that he broke the cycle, it was so good.
Yeah, because you would think about it, it's like, I would go mad. Like, if you're just repeating the same day over and over.
And how many times does Rita want for Brett to be legit, upfront, and honest? And he's like, I've tried this, it doesn't do any good. And she's like, what are you talking about? This is the first time we're talking about this. And it's like, And then, like, the times that he tries to run away and it doesn't work, like,
Yeah, that's why I love the Tom Cruise movie, Live, Die, Repeat.
I haven't seen that.
It's so good.
It's funny, I bought it because it felt like something I'd want to watch.
Yeah, you would like it.
But I haven't popped it on yet because The Edge of Tomorrow is its original title.
Correct, yeah.
And then the poster saying Live, Die, Repeat got people so hyped that they kind of added it as like a subtitle. But, so you're saying that it's similar to this?
Yeah, where he's repeating and then he's trying to figure out, like,
what to do right.
Yeah, the what to do right and how to... And then it's like, wow, that's really sad when you think about just repeating. And seeing the people that you love, like, die over.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. And that's one of the things that really helped Brett Hopper break Chad Shelton into being on his side is he was like, I've watched Rita die. And he said maybe how many times, or maybe it's like more times than he cared to think about. Because they both, Brett being with Rita and Chad formerly being with her, they both care for her. And so, I fully recommend, so in the rating system, I say you ought to watch this. If you go to Amazon.com, you can either buy, can you grab that?
Yeah.
You can either buy this, Daybreak, the complete series, for $5 with a $5 shipping fee, or some people are selling it for $10 free shipping, so same thing in the end. But, because I literally bought it both ways, because I was like, whatever, it all comes out the same. But I definitely recommend watching it because to me, it's smart television, which I don't know if it's just today or the last few years, but I've been getting in this rut of predictability behind things. So like, for a good few years of The Blacklist, I was watching it and I was like, oh, you were doing good. But then we get to one season, season 7, and there was not one episode, I don't know, for like 12 to 13 episodes where I didn't just see everything coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh my goodness, why is everything so darn formulaic? Of like, I would literally pause and be like, this, and this is about to happen. Play, and it did.
Yeah, because they went a season too long. I always say a good series has about 5 to 6 good seasons, and then after that,
yeah,
they kind of.
I guess you're right then, because oh my, it just irritated me so bad. So anyway, what about yourself, sir? How do you feel? Would you recommend that people check this out?
Oh, definitely recommend. I'm glad that you gave me that heads up about the final 2 episodes, because it's not jarring per se, but you can definitely like tell like, okay, this is not how they were gonna end it this way, but this is not the way that they were going to.
Of course, but I actually appreciate that they didn't just say,
screw it.
Yeah, let's just go home.
Yeah, it's like Firefly. I'm glad that we got Serenity.
Yes.
Because it's like, at least you finished it.
Yes.
Yes, even though it's not like...
Yeah, it's not perfect.
Right.
But perfect is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like...
Yeah, you can have a good TV show, and then the next you're like, oh,
What
well, we had this whole thing. But I looked into it, right?
Yes.
And so the pilot episode had 10 million views.
Okay.
I was like, wow, that's really good. This is what happened. And then the next one, I think, had 8. And then after that, like 5 and 3. Well, it kept going down, so I guess that they got scared.
Yeah, so check this out. So here was, not that this matters, because like I said, we both recommend watching it. But to me, I gave episode 1 5 out of 5 stars. Oh. Okay, yeah. 2, I gave 6 out of 5. I said episode 2 was spec-freaking-tacular. I thought it was better than the first one. Now, 3, I thought it was a step down. It was just a good. It was a 4 out of 5. Episode 4, I graded that as... Oh, I said it is the perfect episode. 7 out of 5 stars. It is where... it's the episode where Hopper... He did it. He figured out how to get Eddie, his old partner, into rehab. He figured out how to save his life. It took him 4 days to do it, but like the rehab finally stuck, and it was just the proof of concept it's what made me be like, oh my goodness, yes, this is exactly what I'm wanting. And so episode 5, what if they're stuck? Which again, the titles were so good, but in this one, I gave it a spectacular 6 out of 5. At this point, I was thinking that Chad Shelton is the best. Like, he just felt like such an important character. And speaking of characters, like, Detweiler and like I said, because he's one of the many, you think he's the big boss, and it turns out there's always a boss on top of the boss. But yeah, so this episode 6, I went back down to a 4 out of 5. I still thought it was good, but I didn't think it was as good. So, the episode where we meet Jared, and where he's losing his memory when the day's on repeat, I actually gave it a 3 out of 5. I thought it was fine, but my problem was I still wasn't sure what his stance was. I didn't know what his... how he fit into the world until later we find out.
Yeah.
When we see where he fits, I was much happier with him. But Tobias Booth, the corrupt politician, he is who we think is the big bad in episode 8, and with that one, I once again gave it a good 4 out of 5. 9 once again stayed the 4 out of 5, but 10 we get back to great territory. It's 5 out of 5. Like, I was just so happy that we were back on top with that. Episode 11, it took him friggin' 15 days, but it got, once again, a perfect score, because 11 is just where Nick, Brett's dad's old partner, is revealed to be hired by Tobias Booth, and we find out he's dirty along with his old fat friend. And it's all these people that you think are on your side just aren't, and so I was a big fan. But yeah, episode 12, I gave it a spectacular, 6 out of 5 score, and then the final episode, I thought it was an an acceptable ending. Like it's not perfect,
Mm-hmm.
but we finally find out there's an even bigger big bad, Barry Colburn, who we had actually met way early in the show. Because he was the public defender, or the person tasked to defend Brett Hopper when he was first accused, because he's a dirty lawyer. And I give the final episode a 4 out of 5. I thought it was a good ending for what they were working with.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that had they made it on to additional pickups, that the whole world would have been fleshed out more. But
yeah, because you never find out like why he repeats it. I don't think it even matters, but if people
of course. Well, that's one thing that I loved about Journeyman. Again, the coming soon, please take my money, NBC, Universal, or whoever owns the rights to that thing. So you've never watched that show, right?
Correct.
So in Journeyman, it's so beautiful. So it's basically Quantum Leap.
Mm-hmm.
So a man travels within his own lifetime, but he doesn't inhabit the body of someone else. His body just gets picked up and placed in a different time, and has to figure out what he has to do to get back to his time.
Okay.
And here's the best part. So Moon Bloodgood is his ex in that show, and when he sees her, he's not sure in the past if it's past her, and then later he finds out it's actually future her, because she was stuck doing the Journeyman gimmick before him. The reason they broke up is because she got stuck in this before. She's been stuck in this pattern, and they get so close. They get so close in this season finale, which turns out to be the series finale. They get so close to revealing that it's actually the creator of the universe. They don't blatantly say that it's God that's doing it, but they ever so slightly hint that some higher power is helping or putting them in place to help put things right, which once went wrong, which is the exact tagline of Quantum Leap. And so I feel like that had they gotten a season 2, that we would have expounded upon how that these are basically humans playing the role of guardian angels, sort of.
Yeah.
And it's just the idea how that what is good and positive for us might not actually be good or positive for the person who actually helped us out.
Mm-hmm.
Because in plenty of the episodes, the main guy and then subsequently his ex, Moon Bloodgood, they help people through their problems, but it's causing real life problems for themselves.
Okay.
It was so well executed.
Yeah.
There are definitely times when I think that networks cancel things that require you to think.
Yeah. Oh.
They're like, we're not just going to spoon feed this to people. What are we doing?
Because I looked up Daybreak on IMDb to see what the reviews were. People gave it like 8 out of 10 and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
And right below it was actually Journeyman.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So people see like the connection,
yeah.
because it's like, it ended before
it's time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
good, because I'm telling you, that's a great.
Yeah, I want to watch it because you would keep.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
Like,
if they would allow me to buy it, I'd buy multiple copies.
Take my money.
Yes, exactly.
But when we do that review.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But since we've been teasing it this whole time, I will go ahead and allow everyone to know what the first episode of I don't know, network, producer, whatever it is, Shut Up and Take My Money. It will be The Strange Case of Mockingbird Lane. So, it is a attempt to reboot the Munsters. Only got one episode that aired one time, nothing else. Won't let me buy it, can't watch it anywhere, it's not streaming, nothing. It's as if they're ashamed of what they did, but I watched it. There's nothing to be ashamed about. Just let me buy it. I'm willing to pay you my money to have this product.
Even if it's just 99 cents, well, guess what? That's 99 cents in your pocket.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I'll go as high as $2.99.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that's fair. It's more than what you would typically pay for an episode, but it's because there's only one of it. So, like, okay, fine.
Right.
Like, literally, I have on DVD the Lost Dane Cook pilots that I don't even really want. That's crazy that you would allow me to buy that, Comedy Central, but NBC won't let me buy shows that I actually care about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, weird. But anyway, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate your feedback and.
And thank you for buying it.
Of course, yeah. Oh, yeah. it's teamwork. Just like with you saying I can borrow your Benjamin Button. I will gladly get you things that I love as well.
Cool.
So anyway, thank you, and thank you for watching.
See ya.